So Jujutsu Kaisen going into 2022. Now, 2021 for Jujutsu Kaisen has been an interesting year, coming off of one of arguably the best and most grandiose arcs of the entire franchise thus far. The Shibuya incident arc definitely left expectations very high once we started 2021, especially when Shibuya wrapped up. A lot of people were like, holy cow, where do we go now? Because Shibuya was just such an epic and insane arc, so much carnage, so much of a massacre. It was absolute madness. There was hands being thrown all over the place, big reveals, big plays, big developments for a lot of the characters, massacres happening to some of the characters, certain intricacies for certain characters like Yuji and him dealing with everything that happened thanks to Sukuna, just a lot from Shibuya. Then going into 2021, it was for the most part a lot of, okay, where do we go from here? There was a lot of setups, a lot of aftermath of like, holy cow, they did a number on Shibuya, and this is just straight up chaotic. There was introductions, of course. We had Yuta being brought back into the fold. We also had Hakari finally being revealed in the story. So while a lot of people felt like it was setups of sorts for a good chunk of the year, ultimately, I felt like it was impactful setups, things that we needed to see, things that we needed to experience, characters that needed to be brought in, and there were some major impactful things that went down. I mean, we cannot forget, for starters, one of the big enchiladas is the Zenin clan massacre, which definitely leaves Maki at a very interesting spot in the story. That was absolutely huge. What happened to Yaga, Principal Yaga, that was with Panda and everything. And then the beginnings of the Culling games and Kenjaku's plans and a lot of really big things. But where is the story going from here? 2022, what can we expect? What are we gonna see? Are we gonna see the return of Gojo? What's gonna happen with Megumi's character? There's a lot of things that need to be discussed, so I guess let's jump into it, baby. Jujutsu Kaisen in 2022. Major things that need to happen, might happen, and probably won't happen. We'll throw those in there as well. Let's do it, baby.
No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done.
Okay, so I want to start off right here by throwing this in the air. I 150% do not see within 2022 Jujutsu Kaisen ending its Culling Games arc. If I'm wrong, I will be deathly shocked because there's just been so much buildup and setup throughout 2021 for this. And if Shibuya incident, a quote-unquote incident, lasted as long as it did, I don't see the Culling Games being a short-term thing or, 20 chapters or anything like that. Culling Games, it just got started the last couple months. We really entered into the whole shebang. We've had little setups here and there, new characters being introduced, but it feels like the Culling Games just barely got started. We just entered the vortex. We got a little bit of Yuji throwing hands with certain people, the incidents with Higuruma. Then on the other side of things, we got Megumi throwing hands and whatnot. And then some characters that we really haven't seen much of what they're doing, like Yuta, which I'd imagine they're not going to show Yuta for a little bit longer, considering they got the movie in theaters, and a lot of the times marketing is like, yo, how you going to have him in the manga doing epic stuff when people are supposed to want to see more of him by going to the film? So I'm not expecting to see Yuta in heavy with the manga until later on during 2022. That's something I want to throw in there for starters. Yuta, I would like to see more of him. I don't expect to see more of him until maybe even after the summertime, depending on when they decide to drop the Blu-rays and DVDs of Jujutsu Kaisen 0, because it just hit theaters December 24th, 2021. It'll probably hit Western theaters in probably March, I'm guessing February, March-ish, and the DVDs and Blu-rays won't probably hit until spring, late spring, early summertime. So maybe we'll see Yuta around there and the manga pop back up as well for like cross promo of like, hey, yo, Yuta's back and you remember the movie, you should go watch it and stuff like that. So again, using what's going on with the series in combination with the films and stuff like that, that's what I expect with Yuta. But again, like I said, Culling Games I don't think will end anytime soon, so there will be plenty of time for Yuta to show up and do something epic. And just, I want to see him throwing hands and doing some really epic stuff. I want a little more exploration that I don't necessarily know we'll get in 2022 for Yuta in terms of like what's going on with him and Rika. Like, you probably haven't watched the film yet, but if you read Jujutsu Kaisen 0, then you know that there's not supposed to be any Rika here. So what's going on here? He supposedly, like, you know, essentially purified her soul and she went on. So how is she still here with Yuta? That's definitely something that I want to explain, but I don't expect to see that in 2022. Don't quote me on that. Or it might just be something that, hey, we need something epic, something beautiful. That would be perfect to resolve right when the Blu-ray comes out for the movie. And I know you're probably thinking, Fornev, why are you comparing the manga to the movie? Marketing and cross promo, especially in 2021 with mangakas and industries and stuff like that. When manga is a major global multi-billion-dollar business, it be like that sometimes, probably more often than we even know. And I should have started all of this off to begin with this. It has to happen, no questions asked. I will honestly be disappointed, and I'm sure many fans will be disappointed, and I'm sure sales will start to reflect. We need Gojo freed. Absolutely, within 2022, Gojo needs to be freed sooner than later. I don't want to be entering like, yo, we in November, December, and still no Gojo. Unfortunately, I could potentially see that happening. I don't want it to happen. And again, I also think that sales could reflect Gojo not being around, because one of the biggest things is Gojo. He's like one of the most popular characters from Jujutsu Kaisen. He's one of people's favorites. He's like, you know, a new age Kakashi, but just people like him a lot more than they like Kakashi, and people really love and admire Kakashi from Naruto. So yeah, he is a very big fan favorite. I want to see him freed. And here's the thing though, now that I think about it, the problem with Gojo being freed is that he has the powers and capabilities that once he is freed, he could stop this whole Culling Games probably fairly quickly. So if he is freed, let's just say within 2022, now that I think about it, he has to come out and unfortunately be weakened somehow. He has to be either being stuck in that, you know, realm for all this time really left him drained, and he needs time to recuperate or something like that. Because essentially what they're doing with Gojo is kind of like, think One Punch Man, how they'll remove Saitama from the, you know, battle or whatever's going on as far as the conflict, send him to the grocery store, have him just out the way so that everybody else and the story can actually progress. And then the moment you add Saitama in, it's all over. And I feel like that's also one of the reasons probably why Kenjaku removes Gojo from the story, because at the end of the day, he's just too damn hacked. So it's an interesting thing where I could potentially see him showing up sooner than later, just because, again, he's just so freaking impactful to the story and he's so important to people. People love him, and at the end of the day, sales could reflect if he's gone for too long of people being like, yo, where's Gojo, dog? I came for, you know what I'm saying? I want my Kugisaki Nobara, I want my Yuji, I want my Megumi, I want my Gojo. No Gojo, no Jogo. Well, Jogo is not there. Anyway, so we'll see what happens with Gojo. Again, unfortunately, it's kind of up in the air because, again, you bring him into the fold, everything is all over with the Culling Game. So, like, I don't see him coming back, let's just say, by March, maybe summertime-ish, or fall, which still feels so long away. But yeah, because of his power, it's just hard to bring him into something that he could just end like this. And while I just mentioned her, Nobara, Kugisaki Nobara, like, this could be a big year considering Jujutsu Kaisen is not going to go on for like 10 freaking years. Kenjaku said in an interview that, yeah, the series isn't going to go on all that long. It'll be like, I think we at the halfway mark, or we was already done with one of 3 arcs, something like that, I forget, but we already had made some decent progression into the story. So we could probably not even see 400 chapters or anything like that. And I think a lot of these big key points that I'm mentioning could be done within this year, because it would make it spicy. At the same time, these are things that just need to be addressed. It would really suck if the main female protagonist, Kugisaki Nobara, has not been mentioned for years upon years on end. Like, I think definitely whether she shows up during the Culling Games or something is happening outside of the Culling Games, or the Culling Games get interrupted and we move forward from this, either way, she needs to be shown, because it's a little ridiculous. I'm not even gonna lie. How long ago was it that she got blown to hell, and, you know, we don't know what happened to her face. We don't even know if she's dead or alive. I'm gonna put my money on she's definitely alive. Probably similar to like Maki. Her and Maki are gonna be like, you know, scar siblings in terms of she's probably gonna be a little bit banged up from the last time we saw what happened, but I don't see her being dead. I just see her, again, kind of being messed up like Maki. And I think it definitely needs to happen sooner than later. She's one of the main characters, for crying out loud, and she's been shafted for a long time. And also, it would be interesting to see her role in all of this and just what she's capable of now. I mean, we saw what happened with Maki. She gets boom bang, and then she becomes, you know, the Itachi of Jujutsu Kaisen. And I guess also it would be interesting to find out if there's any relevance at all as to why it's been a mystery this entire time. Like, imagine she just shows up and she's just like normal and everything, like, you know, hunky-dory. That would be terrible. Like, I want some impact from the fact that she's been gone for so long. Something has to be, whether she's missing a freaking eye, whether an arm, whatever it is, something bad has had to have happened to her in order for like it to make sense of like why she's been removed for this long. And like I said regarding Maki, I definitely want to see more of her. I don't know if we're gonna get too much of her considering she had her own damn arc and it was legendary, one of my favorite arcs in the entirety of the story so far. So I'm not expecting too much Maki. I would like to see like, yo, where do we go from here? Like considering you just massacred the entire Zenin clan, kind of throwing even the balance of the sorcery world at this particular point out of whack because you killed one of the main families. What do you do from here? Like you're not even, you know, the leader of it. Technically at this point Megumi is the leader of the Zenin clan. So what's the future for Maki? Kind of feels uncertain. Again, I don't expect too much of her in 2022. Also, she's not that popular in the popularity polls. I think she was like 12 if I'm not mistaken in the top 50 or whatever of characters. So yeah, I expect to see her, not probably as frequent as I would like because she's one of my all-time favorite characters of this series. We need more Kenjaku. We need more of Kenjaku's plans. Obviously, he's having all of these issues and, you know, there's a correlation between him and Tengen, but I definitely want more Kenjaku. I want more Brain Sama. I think we will in 2022 get more of the backstory of what the heck was going on between, you know, him being inside of Yuji's mom and the relationship between Yuji's mom and the dad and the creepiness of this brain that is hopping into, you know, people's bodies and like, oh my god, it's wild in 2022 that we're going into that. Yeah, we're gonna find out more about Yuji's mom that is technically the villain, but it really wasn't the mom. But we just need more exploration. Like one of the things now that, you know, in 2020, was it, wow, I want to say it was 2020 that, you know, Mahito hasn't been around, is that Kenjaku has had to stand as the main villain of the story for a while. And while Kenjaku so far, his mysterioso persona and stuff like that has been intriguing, getting little inklings of him jumping bodies for all these whatever time he's been doing it is interesting and intriguing. Ultimately, without Mahito, because Mahito was something that was just like, yo, Mahito hit different with Jujutsu Kaisen. We definitely just need more exploration into his character, more of his backstory, more of what his ultimate goal of doing this whole culling game is to begin with. Like we have inklings of it. 2022, we definitely got to explore more of it. I personally think, again, there's probably major connections between Kenjaku and Sukuna, but we'll see. And speaking of Sukuna, I think it's about time we see him again. I know he had a lot of impact in the Shibuya incident arc. I know also that Yuji is probably desperately trying to suppress it. I think we're going to get more of Yuji and just his character coming to acceptance, because after the big battle that he had with Higuruma, where he's still completely 100% blaming himself for what happened in Shibuya with Sukuna coming and taking over and, you know, decimating half the damn city, like, I definitely think we're going to get more exploration of Yuji's character, more character development for him, but also we need more of Sukuna. I never in the entirety of this story expect Sukuna to ever have a change of heart like a Kurama from Naruto, where all of a sudden he's gonna be bro-fisting Yuji. Like, I just don't see that happening. I would be kind of mind blown if it did happen. Like, that just seems way too far-fetched out of character for Sukuna. So I want to get more of his backstory, what he did back in the days, what happened to him, how he got separated. Will that all happen in 2022? Probably not. We'll probably just get a little more of him returning and doing some messed up shit and making Yuji feel like shit. And maybe I think by the end of 2022, when he does emerge at some given point, Yuji will probably have a one-up on him regarding something. I just feel like because he's put Yuji through so much, Yuji has to get to a point of character where he's like, it bothered me what you've done, but I'm at a point now where it's straight up fuck you. Like, yo, Sukuna, like, we're gonna just get an image of him walking over to Sukuna and Sukuna sitting in his chair, and he's like, what is it? And Yuji just gives him the finger and says, you're a... and walks away. Like, that'd be kind of dope. And one of the biggest things I think we've already had setups, and it's, you know, 2021 in general has been a catalyst to, is I'm expecting major change and a darker tone for Megumi Fushiguro. I think it's been set up and established already that at the end of the day, you know, he's related to Toji, dog. That's his pops, you know what I'm saying? He's also related to Gojo, one of the most badass characters in the history of freaking Jujutsu Kaisen, and just in general a really awesome dude. I'm expecting Megumi, as we've seen already in the last handful or so of chapters, where we're at right now as of the recording of this video. It is December 27th. We'll roll with 28th because that's probably when it'll be released, but either way, I'm expecting to see Megumi go way darker. I'm expecting to see more traits of Toji popping out of Megumi, because we've already had 2 instances alone in the last handful of chapters where I was like, holy shit, wait a minute, Megumi, I kind of counted you out. I was just like, he's alright. And then the last few chapters I'm like, oh, he's getting to that point now. It's really coming full circle. miracle for the guy. Because in the latest chapter, he was like, oh, I don't got no restrictions anymore, so now I can fight for real. Like, I'm about to go without holding back. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, yo, you're gonna really hurt somebody there, Megumi, but all right. And then it was a couple of chapters before that where there was a girl that was like panicking, screaming, because she said, say you'll protect me and that you like me. You gotta say it. And Megumi said, so you're like that, huh? Trash who cares more about words than deeds. And I just, like, the facial expression right there, it gave me vibes of white-haired Kaneki from Tokyo Ghoul. I was just like, who is this, and why has it taken this long for Megumi to be this freaking awesome? Like, there's been little traits here or there. We've been seeing the spiraling of him. Again, at the end of the day, I think one of the biggest catalysts to it all is, I think the more he learns about his father, too, is going to play a pivotal factor on where Megumi's character goes. Like, I don't expect him to be, like, a full-blown murderer and psycho like his father was, but I do expect more of him going down this route throughout 2022 as we explore and navigate as to who Megumi is and who Megumi is going to become. Again, it's almost like the yin and yang between him and Yuji. Think Hunter x Hunter. Obviously, Kenjaku Tami is very inspired by Hunter x Hunter, you know, Yoshihiro Togashi's works. If Yuji is essentially gone, then Kitawa is Megumi. And if, you know, anything you know about Hunter x Hunter, you know that Kitawa gets down and gets a little bit sometimes, you know, when necessary, very dangerous. And I think Megumi's going to go down that route as well, while Yuji again tries to find himself in one aspect, Megumi is going to be finding himself in the other, and it might take them down some dark alleys, but ultimately I'm expecting Megumi to become a monster in this Culling Games by the end of 2022. A lot of Megumi, and if he keeps on being as epic as he's been these last few chapters, I'm here for it, baby. He's working his way up into being one of my faves, and I wouldn't have voted for him in my top 10 Jujutsu Kaisen, well, maybe top 10, but I wouldn't have had him in my top 5 of Jujutsu Kaisen characters. Now I would. And then I guess some other miscellaneous things that I would like to see in 2022. Of course, we need besto friend Todo. I want to see a little more of him. It would be nice to see a little more Panda. Panda's always great, even though we did get a lot of him in 2021. And I guess more of just Jujutsu High and the sorceries, the schools, because obviously, you know, Yuji is wanted and Yuta was supposed to kill him and didn't. So I want to see more of their reaction when they do find out, oh, Yuji is still alive. Like, how we can't kill this dude. So what's going on here? Like, so I want to see how they react to it, and I guess it'll also make Yuta a wanted man when all is said and done. And yeah, I'm expecting a lot of epicness, but once again, I need to clarify that I do not expect the Culling Games by the end of 2022 to be completely resolved. We've had too much setup between all the info provided from Tengen and everything. This is probably going to go on for a while. Maybe middle of 2023, late 2023 is when it'll wrap up. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but that's how I see it happening. But yeah, people, I'm very curious what you guys think. For starters, one of the biggest questions, what do you expect to see in 2022 for Jujutsu Kaisen? Do you think the Culling Games is going to end within 2022? Do you think we're going to see the return of the legend, the man himself, the myth, Gojo Sensei? Will he be brought back? Will he be unsealed? I mean, they've already kind of started, you know, turning the wheels for that. Obviously, after they spoke with Tengen and they got the knowledge and they're trying to find the key, and, you know, they're doing all these other things. So, do you think we're going to get Gojo back by the end of the year? Do you think we're going to see Yuta again? Do you think we're going to get more of Kenjaku? Again, I think that's definitely going to happen within 2022. I don't think we're going to know everything about him, but I think we're going to explore more as to his connections and how it all happened and came about between him and Yuji's parents, Maki. Again, I don't expect too much of Maki either, just because she had a really big year with 2021, best female 2021 hands down, and not even just of Jujutsu Kaisen. She dominated it for females in the manga space, period. I don't expect to see too much of her, unfortunately, because she just had so much spotlight. Hopefully I'm wrong on that, because I really want to see more of her. Kugisaki Nobara, do you think that they're going to finally show what the hell happened to her? Is she dead? Is she looking like Maki? What's going on here? Or does she just have like a big zit on her face and she's like, oh my god, covering it? And that's the big shocker of it all. And just in general, what do you want to see in 2022 for Jujutsu Kaisen? I just want it to continue to be the great story that it is, that is just always a little bit different from the regular and standard shonen and weekly shonen jump, and just in the genre in general. But that's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram. Hit that bell to get all notifications. And if you want to follow any of my other social media, links are in the description below. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. And remember the golden rule: anime and manga for life, bye. Have an awesome day. Peace in, and woo, 2022 Jujutsu Kaisen. I'm here for it, baby. Can't freaking wait. 2021 was dope. 2020 was legendary. Let's see what 2022 brings to us. Have an awesome one.
You what I know, so just go to find me.